Cool thing about this is it does record audio and video. Can you guys all see me in that camera? I should be orange, red, and yellow. So this is the real deal. This camera is actually used by firemen and mechanics. This is not some crazy app. This is the real type of thermal imaging that we wanted. So again, we're going to try to keep somebody in view at all times. Obviously, I'm like a yellowish white color, I'm guessing. So that means I'm the warmest thing inside the video. So with that said, the blue and the black are the coldest areas in the video. If you take this temperature out and we don't have anybody in a video, that orange, red, and yellow is going to probably go somewhere else. It needs a base temperature. So I want to use our 97 to 99 degree temperature to try to keep us going with that. So again, this is recording all night long. John, was it?
Yes.
Look at me remembering names. You guys are keeping me busy. That's going to stay in your hands just like that all night.
Today's his 16th birthday, so
Happy birthday, dude.
Yeah.
So,
Thank you.
So, a couple of things with that. The camera's in your lower left-hand side, so watch where your fingers go. It's right down here. There is a red square on your screen. That means that it's recording. If it turns to a circle, simply let me know and tap it again. It's a cell phone. So again, just tap the screen again, make it a square, but let me know, because that way I have to splice video together. There has been a little hiccup the past few nights where it starts going black, white, black, white, black, white. If it does that, stop the video, restart it again. I'm finding I'm losing the video that happens after that, even though the orange square is still present. So stop it, start it again.
Okay.
Got it? Look at him, he's already on it. No questions at all. All right, let's get into spirit boxes. So let me kind of go into, I have 3 different styles. They all do something different. We are going to use 3 different methods with spirit boxes tonight. This one in particular is probably my favorite tool out of everything I have, because when I do my investigations, it goes on mute and in my pocket because it'll record that way with no outside noise. So what's a spirit box? This is going to sweep through FM radio stations at a very quick rate. This is where Zach Bagans gives you the white noise, and then he gives you the BS he thinks he heard in the middle of it on the screen. You guys all catch my drift of who Zach Bagans is? All right, cool. So my group last night had...
Ghost Adventures or something?
Yes, Ghost Adventures. He's the over-the-top guy that everybody makes fun of. So, and it's no different here, because I make fun of him all the time. But anyway, this one is slowed down on purpose. I want the radio chatter to come through. Think of this as Bumblebee from Transformers. So with that said, song lyrics, DJs, commercials coming through, those little tidbits, it's a 50-50 chance I can match it to the location of where we are, something going on with one of us, or a person I'm talking about in the history of the story that I'm telling. Does that make sense to everybody? So again, I want the radio chatter to come through on this guy. This is a big deal. So this one records the entire session for us, even when it's on mute, no outside noise. You will have this full recording back tomorrow with about 15 to 20 markers of things I found, whether they're relevant or not. So if it is relevant, you'll have an explanation as to why and a backlink of where I got my information. It's not because I told you, it's because Britannica.org told me. Does that make sense? So I'm all about verification. You guys need to know you're doing the real deal. This isn't, you know, just for giggles. All right, so Riley, right? All right, I'm gonna keep you busy with this one. So you have one button for you, Bob?
US heat signatures. Yeah.
Bugs.
Kind of messing with the recording.
I got my ghost radio ready.
All right, the next spirit box does the exact same thing, only it does not record. So I normally hand this off to 2 people, but because we are at exactly 9 people and I have exactly 9 devices, I definitely want to just give this to 1 person so we have every single device out. I'm going to set it up to be the slowest portion as possible. I forgot your name, son. I'm sorry. Connor. How did I forget that one? Connor, this one's going to go to you. You have one button to worry about as well. It's the volume at the side of the ball speaker here. So you're going to hold it down to turn the volume down, and a gentle hold up to get volume up. Real simple. Just don't press it in. It won't do anything. It's just a gentle hold up.
And where do I want to keep it at?
So when I'm telling stories and talking, you want to keep it down because I don't want to be feeling like I'm shouting over it. So go ahead and turn it down now. I left it up on purpose so you can learn how to turn it down. Perfect.
Okay, but when we're about like why this turn?
I'll definitely give you a cue for spirit boxes to be turned up. The last one that I have, this spirit box does something a little bit different. This is actually going to give us the words in the center of the screen. So right now it says the word exam, and then it's going to save all those words to a list. You guys will have the full list back. Last night, that's a lie, they didn't have 145. I must have left it running on my desk. But you guys will get the full list back on this guy. Why? Because 80% of this is BS. it doesn't mean anything. This app is actually meant to be a game and a hoax. So we don't want the game or the hoax. The game we're playing is the word or the phrase coming from the ghost, or is it coming from the app? Does that make sense to you guys? So again, Owen, this is your special job, man. You're all about this. So I cleared you guys out. You guys will have a fresh list tomorrow. First word we have is the word tail. So again, I'm going to be telling you tails, but that's too vague. I want specific details out of this thing. Does that make sense to everybody? Perfect. All right. Let's see. How do I want to go with next? All right. Kind of.
Yes.
It's the neuralizer from Men in Black. None of you are going to remember a damn thing when we're done. But Nick, it's all recorded anyway. Who cares?
Right.
Lasers.
Ooh, look at that.
Absolute necessity
Awesome.
when you're going through trying to find ghosts. Cool thing is you can see the lasers on the ground, which is where you're all staring right now. But really what we're looking for is something to pass through it, because we can't see the lasers until something goes through it. Cool?
Yeah.
There's one end. The second one is red squares. The cool thing about this one is if something passes through it and we capture it with video or a picture, then I can put that in 3D software, give you the full 3D view of what we caught along with measurements. So, Carol.
Like a grid.
all you.
Like, what is this?
By the way, did you mention anything about the month of June?
I did not.
Okay, that means this is probably the month.
Well, I haven't mentioned anything yet. So, she's going to need a partner. I don't normally hand this to kids because they have no idea what the hell it is. It's a digital camera, in case they caught onto that. So, with that said, you're literally going to be snapping pictures, and feel free to intermingle the devices among your groups. So as long as it stays within your groups, you're fine. So you're literally going to be taking pictures. Carol, shoot one of your lasers down for me.
She got like the laser? Or the light?
He's got both.
There you go.
Oh.
You're going to be, go ahead and lift it up. So you get a little bit of height out of that. So you're going to be towards the middle of it. So you're literally going to be shooting through it. Probably the bad matchup, tall and short. So we'll kind of see how this goes. But literally hundreds of pictures going through this guy. Also, the square boxes that they have, so that way you guys can see what you got going on. In case it shuts off after a few minutes of no activity, just turn it back on. You got it. Simple digital camera. All right.
Okay, I'm getting something else. I'm just gonna go, but then that way.
How do I want to go about doing this?
Oh, yeah.
K2 EMF meters. These are an absolute necessity. So this kind of tells us what's going on with the activity around us. These ones are pretty common on TV. So it's because we're super sensitive, and every time Zach sees something going on, he shoves Aaron in that room and says, go find out what's going on. This is going to measure 3 different types of electromagnetic fields. So, Olivia, this one's going to go to you. If it does anything, I need to know. But we're going to debunk it first, because man-made objects like parking meters and cell phones and electronic devices are going to make it go into a pulse. We don't want that. We want it to go crazy. That one goes to you. Let me know when it goes nuts. Who's the more technical person out of the two of you? Perfect. So, this one's going to go to you.
Give me the easy.
No, it's still a multitask.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
I just have something more advanced than this,
Ah, I see.
which is new.
Okay.
So,
You're gonna die.
She's
this
gonna
one
love
does
it.
3 different functions. It has a K2 meter built into it, EMF, just like Olivia's. So anything above 2.5 on the big numbers, I'm excited about. The bottom numbers, reason I'm putting this one with your group, is because John's camera is measuring temperature. In the event he finds something cold, we have the ambient temperature being measured by the yellow probe. We can find out where that cold spot is coming from. The last thing that it does is it's a motion detector. So it's creating an EMF field around the antenna, so if something gets close to it, it's going to go off. It's going to go a little crazy here because we have some wiring near us. We'll talk more about this at our first location.
Okay.
Okay, so we're going to leave the antenna down, leave the little flap open for me in the back. It's going to be more for your benefit than anything. Just
Okay.
focus on the big numbers.
And what did you say, above 2.5 or something?
2.5.
Okay. On top.
Chris,
Yes.
are you ready?
I'm so ready. Techie. Oh my god, I got the backpack, didn't I?
This is the ghost
I
trap.
got to carry the backpack.
This is where you get to take them home.
Yeah.
So this is a new device. We've had it for about 2 weeks now. We're still experimenting with it.
Whoa, it's perfect for her.
It's
Technical.
yeah, Crystal looks like
In
a
a
video.
sense, yeah. It's a GoPro. So let me kind of give you the gist of what we're going to be doing with this guy.
Ooh.
Once it turns on. Not yet. I'm building one of those.
Okay.
So,
We
all
all
right, so
have
you guys
different
cannot see
equipment,
me in that
right?
video, correct? So it should be pretty dark. So let's turn on some lights. So this is full spectrum lighting. So this is going to be used in 2 locations to record, and for the remainder of the time, it's going to be used as kind of a viewfinder. You're kind of my, which way does this need to be angled? Does this light work better than this one? We don't use the bottom switch on this guy. Here's what it does. It's night vision, only because this draws a lot of attention to Nick's groups. I already pissed off all the other tours. We don't want to be raising any more attention than what we have to. So we're going to use lights that they can't see, only us. So with that said, I will tell you when I want to record in certain locations of places maybe I haven't gotten yet, or because of all the other activity that we have going on. So you have 2 lights. One red button here is lined up with your lens, and then you have another one that's going to shoot this way. So you kind of have 2 different angles. We can move this camera however you want us to move it. The handle is obviously where my left hand is.
Okay.
So top switch up, red button here.
Top switch up, red button. Top switch up, red button. Now, how am I supposed to see, though?
That's the point. That's why I wanted to find out. So you're going to hold it this way. So are you going to hold it left or right-handed?
Right-handed. No,
Right.
left.
You're going to
Do
hold it
left
left?
so you can do the buttons.
Yeah. with
Right, that's how I normally
yeah,
operate.
Yeah,
Yeah.
There
My
you
guy
go.
last night, he was the exact opposite. He wanted to hold it with his right hand and operate with his left, which I was fine with. I'll just move the camera. So you hold it this way.
Okay.
And everything's been sanitized, everybody, so no worries.
We're good.
So you do that twice a day.
This one?
No. Right here. Red button,
Red button.
top switch.
Red button, top switch.
Both on the left side.
Okay.
Play with them, move them around.
Left
Let me
side.
know what works
Holy
best.
shit.
So now, oh, there it is, the super light bag. So that's
Nothing
appreciated, everybody. You guys just took about 40 pounds worth of gear out of my back. All right.
You're welcome.
So questions, comments, concerns so far? If not, we'll get started.
So should I notify you if there's like significant temperature change?
You
Like-
should notify me if you see something moving
Moving. All
that
right.
shouldn't be.
Okay.
Blue or black. And I will show you evidence as we kind of go through this. So at our second stop, I show you at that location, because this is going to be, let's get you guys started, and more of a bit of a teach and train. How you doing?
Hi.
You're probably at the wrong stop because I have all my people.
Gotcha.
So you're looking Bulldog Tours?
No.
What are you looking?
of the South.
That is not me. So Ghost of the South. Yeah, you're.
Sheila's Shamrock. Any idea where that is?
What's the street?
Sheila starts at 84th North Market.
That seems fantastic.
Yeah, you're gonna go.
Just up that way.
Yeah,
Doesn't
go up
start
to the,
recording right now,
where the
so-
gas lines are. Okay, make a left.
Thank you.
You got it.
How do I start it again? Or this time?
That's just the lighting. So
That's
when
just
I
like-
when I want the recording, I'll let you know.
And how do I do that?
That's this button.
Like a genius. Okay,
See?
so these are just lighting ones.
Right.
And that's recording.
Yeah. See why I
can do
want to
that.
show you a few at a time? So that way you don't have a million things you have to try to remember.
I'm really old, but I got it.
You're not.
Thank
We're probably the same age.
Oh, you're sweet. No, we're not.
All right, so let me tell you why we started here. So the building where I told you guys to meet me at is called, well, used to be called Big John's Tavern back in the 70s. So Big John was a football player for the 1947 New York Giants. So he used to sit in the back of the bar, and he would tell the bartender if the cadets coming over from the Citadel, if they were old enough to drink or not. It is definitely a bike night. I'm going to feel like I'm shouting all night long. So one night, 2 guys come over from the Citadel. They're not old enough to drink. John has them kicked out. They come back the next night and try to steal the cash register from the front of the bar. So John sees what's happening. He starts pounding these guys into the floor, right? He's pretty angry. A couple of shots go off. John gets hit in the neck and the bullet lands in the wall. John gets up and he goes back to the bar and he tells the bartender to get him another beer and to get the guys on the floor an ambulance. First off, John's the one that got shot in the neck. Second, what's haunting the place, right? So it's the bullet hole. It's allegedly still here. The only EMF I've ever gotten from inside that building is in the front of the bar near the bullet hole. I say it's allegedly still here because obviously they're renovating the place. You can see the brown paper over the windows. You guys all looked at the front door. So I'll have to double check that once they reopen back up again. People that sit in the front tend to get a little queasy, headache, nauseous kind of thing. Anybody feels any of those symptoms, I need to know immediately. That is not to scare you, because technically this is not a scary tour. But I'm not going to tell you that people have not passed out from this tour, because it has happened in the past. You are going to be dealing with paranormal activity, fingers crossed. I don't know how it's going to affect you. So let's talk about other things in our own health, shall we? Chris is like, yeah, please move on. So this building behind me, if you didn't already know, we had a big earthquake here in 1886. So I'm going to talk about that earthquake a couple of times tonight. This allegedly is where the first death occurred. The mantle you see in the middle of the building also goes around to the front. From the earthquake, a piece of it broke off, struck somebody in the back of the head, and apparently you could see his ghost in the middle of East Bay Street. Now, do I have proof of that? I do not. It's just a great segue story, so you guys aren't thinking about getting sick on my tour. So, Carol's like, yes, I get it. All right, you guys ready to go ghost hunting? Olivia, what do you think? I see your name a lot, by the way. So we're gonna be, yes. So on that, the word list?
Oh, on that. I thought you just meant in general.
Nope, on the word list. It shows up often. I never have a tie to it, but maybe we will tonight. Let's move on.
Well, I think this one's gonna be trouble.
Yeah.
Yeah, he said it was red, right? You know what,
I was
Connor? I
making
think
sure
we can
like-
dump it in the car and I'll catch up.
Not yet.
I swear we're going this way, right?
I'm gonna kind of go through more about the spirit boxes, and then I'll give you the cubes.
You think it's recording, right?
Okay.
I have my glasses on, but I'm pretty sure, yeah. If it's a red square,
Nice. Oh, yeah, I know we're about to become the. What he talks about.
I mean, just watch it. Please, for the love of God.
Good job.
I put it in my backpack, but I don't think there's room. Like it's compartmentalized, so I'll help you out.
Our car's near here, so we may dump it in.
Okay, cool. All right, so welcome to your level 1. You guys are going to find out, I told you this isn't sightseeing. You're going to find I love parking lots. I'm always going to take you to places that once were, or places where we can actually spread out and actually investigate. This is one of those places. Obviously, we're standing next to a big red barn, because that's what it's called, the big red barn. This is where we keep the horses for your carriage rides. Yes, they are still inside. Yes, they can hear us. Absolutely no lasers on this building at all. Your spirit boxes, if you're going to be on that end of the parking lot, need to be audible to you and one other person only. They don't like the white noise. They will kick the wall and scare the hell out of all of us because it is loud. So, the only history I have here is very simple because this is a place where I get to bounce around with all of you and show you more tactics about your device. So, I see you have, are you using the Ghost Finder?
Yeah.
Okay.
Is it bad?
No. I mean, we'll find out what comes out of it. So, maybe I'll help you debunk some of it and maybe help prove some of it. We'll see what happens. So, the only history here, guys, is simple. This is the same red barn that held horses that delivered milk and eggs to the residents of Charleston. So let's talk about spirit boxes. This is not TV. This is not, is somebody here? Because if they answer no, they're here, okay? Somebody answered you. It's a legitimate answer. So we're gonna stay away from yes and no questions all night long. And you're already getting some readings already, so we're gonna kind of try to debunk some of that since we are relatively close to the building. You're gonna ask questions here that you already know the answers to. We already talked about the big red barn. If somebody's here, this is going to be a sample question. If somebody's here, tell me what color the barn is. You're going to look and listen for the color red. In the event you don't hear it, you have to remember they're trying to find something relevant to get back to you that's specifically red. It might be the color red, or it might be blood, heart, fire truck. Those 3 specific items are specifically red. So it's not going to say camera lights because we have another camera light over here that's blue. It's going to be something specific. This is about putting clues together. How does it match up to the history? We're also close to Big John's. Big John's, if you guys start hearing or seeing double-digit numbers, it's a good possibility it's the teammate of one of Big John's jersey numbers. Does that make sense to everybody? But I don't get excited about one thing coming through. I need 2 pieces. You're going to find throughout the night that some people had the same exact clue that might be attached to them, like a first name. I could hear the name George, but I don't know which one it is until I get another clue. So again, this is all about what's coming out of your different boxes. That's why I bounce around with all of you and kind of fill everybody in on what's happening around the group. We all have a specific job. You have to imagine, I do most of this when I'm doing my own investigations on my own. So you guys are helping me out. So, in the event you don't get anything that's related to the color red, open it up. What's inside the barn if somebody's here? You have horses, animals, draft horses, that's their breed. They were delivery horses for milk and eggs, which could also be portrayed as milk and or protein and calcium. So everything is about keywords. Over there it was 1947, New York Giants, Big John. Over here it's delivery, milk, and eggs. Kind of go see where I'm going with all of this? All right, cool. So spirit boxes, I'm going to have you guys go ahead and turn up and kind of spread out a little bit. Listen to your spirit boxes. Ask questions out loud. Remember, those aren't walkie-talkies. They're not inside your box. You can just have a normal conversation like an invisible person is in front of you. Hopefully you get some answers. As far as the lasers, you guys are free to go ahead and take some pictures. You may even want to swap just based on height. So that was probably a really bad move. Did you guys catch what I did there? Like Carol's like super short holding the lasers down here. And he's like, let me get some pictures. So, so that way you guys can actually get some decent pictures out of that. Keep lasers off of vehicles. You will set off car alarms. So, I do want to work with the cameras first, and then as far as the EMF goes, you guys have, who has the spirit box in this group? So, Olivia, you might want to stick with him so he knows where to stop and ask questions. Wait till your thing goes a little bonkers.
Okay.
So kind of stay together in pairs. So thermal imaging, and we're going to go over yours too, because you also have an EMF, but the other two spirit boxes are in their group. So we'll kind of like, they should be kind of paying attention to see where you stop and get anything above 2.5. Once I'm done with the cameras, I'm going to go to you next, so that way I can show you more about that motion sensor.
Okay.
All right, so let me get your camera pointed at a blank panel over here. I just want you to kind of see how it bleeds out a little bit. So go ahead and point your camera at that and just see how it bleeds out to one color. We don't want that. We want, go ahead and keep it there. No. Oh, yeah. See how the wall turned blue now? And now it's going to go back to red. That's why I want skin temperature in there most of the night. You don't have to be up in somebody's face, but at the same time,
have someone.
even if they're off in a distance.
It doesn't take a general like wall, road as the main heat source, I guess.
You got it.
Yeah.
So it wants something to kind of balance it with. Also keep in mind, people don't like their vehicles being filmed. So somebody's walking to their car, you're not a cameraman watching their car.
Okay.
You're just casually holding a cell phone. They don't know what we're doing. They just think we're filming their car. Does that make sense? Yeah. So we don't, want to get anybody kind of heated up over us.
And should I do anything else besides?
Nope.
Okay.
And you might not see anything tonight. I'm going to kind of skim through this in the morning and kind of see if anything is going on and some of the hot spots of what's going on with the EMF meters and things like that. But again, please let me know if it starts that flickering, black and white. I'm trying to figure out what's going on there because it just did an update from the software. And if I have to email them to take me back to the original software, I will. But I'm losing video anytime that happens. Even though it says record, it's not recording anymore. So I want to stop the video and get it going again if it does that black and white flicker. Trust me, you'll know what I'm talking about when it happens.
Okay.
All right, so your camera's pretty basic. We already kind of went over all the
I understand now.
for a second. So you can probably see the detail. So again, that's where you play with the lights. What's working best? And when I'm watching this video, it's red. Yeah, however, whichever one you want to do. If that's the one that makes me out, then that's what you want to do. I'm not looking in the purple circle until I'm watching the video. So wherever that purple circle is right now, hopefully I'm right on the edges. I'm looking all around me. I'm looking for this dark because of something. So is there a dark spot up in here?
The horses in here, don't you? Smells like horses, like hay, don't you think?
Yeah.
Smells like. Mine hasn't moved at all.
Good job. So I'm literally looking outside of this circle.
Connor and Olivia got something over there.
Oh, I didn't even notice him already.
Yeah. No, where'd it go? Where'd you go? We were getting double red.
Are you still able to tell us what color this barn is? Or should we move on?
That was Ariana Grande.
What was delivered from this farm that people who drink a lot? It's white.
No, it's the horses carried food to the different people in Charleston.
You want to ask that?
What was brought to the people of Charleston by the horses?
John, did you do it?
I think I heard Ariana Grande.
He asked that question and all of a sudden he goes, girls.
This is funny.
Y'all.
Did you get any readings or?
What are you asking?
I don't know, I moved on. Yeah, okay. top. I don't know where it went.
Scared by the.
What is the color of the barn right here? You can please tell us.
If there's someone over here, can you make this go red? Can't tell if it's just going red or if it's...
Can you keep it?
Can you make it double red?
Can you keep it at red for 5 seconds?
You're right here.
Are you able to do that again? Can you make it only where it's one green?
No, they can't.
Can you keep it at double red?
Oh no. That sounds like a ring now.
Are you able to repeat what you just said?
No, right here.
What's the name of the animals in this barn?
Have a radio show going. Oh. Don't get it too close to the horses. They don't like it.
Can you tell us the name of the animals inside of this barn?
Did I say cows? Did anyone else hear cows? Or am I losing it? Oh, where'd the double? I like the double red.
Can you keep it at double red longer?
We're asking some really advanced stuff of them.
Yeah.
Can you please tell us the name of the animals inside this barn?
There's double red.
Just for a while, yeah.
Oh,
Are you keeping it at double red?
oh, we lost it. Yeah.
Is this showing red because this barn is red?
Oh.
Is there someone that can tell us the name of this barn? Can you tell us the color of this barn, please? Are you able?
Ariana Grande.
Can you tell us what these horses delivered?
Where are we going?
Okay.
Yeah, we're right in that parking lot.
Do you want to give me 1 minute to go run it, drop it off real quick?
What am I doing? I'm doing great.
I mean, we're gonna spend some time here.
I think we're good for right
I feel like Tyra Banks if she was on Ghost of
Oh, my light open.
Yeah, yours is like, you pulled out yours. Yours looks like super complicated.
I'm honestly not that clear about doing it. It's like, don't film the thing. You don't want the thing in the circle. You want to ask them.
Where's the thing though? I'm like, what am I filming?
History, and trust me, you're gonna get a lot more. That's the little white button in the back. I know, lots of functions. Olivia's is going off as well.
Okay.
Yep. Alright, so that's the only way in and out of here, so I'm going to draw us a little bit closer this way while I give you guys the history of the spot. We are welcome to another beautiful spot of Charleston, by the way. So if you guys don't know where to park by the time you're done with me, you have bigger issues that I can't fix. So this place used to be the Charles and Pinckney mansion site. So their mansion sat in the front of this lot facing East Bay Street. Eliza's garden was lined up with that left tree. It's kind of in the dark tonight. It came all the way across, and we are standing where the slave and servant quarters used to be. So that's the layout of the land. This is a location where I'm not going to give you questions like, what color is George Washington's white horse? Kind of thing. Like, you're going to get the answers from your spirit box. This is your level 2. I'm not going to be giving you these answers. Your spirit box will. Before we leave, if there's anything left unanswered, I will finish it off. So, Eliza married Charles at a young age. I'm not going to tell you what that age is. I'll just tell you that Charles was over double her age. She married Charles because her father over in England thought he was dying, and he wanted to see his kids one last time. Eliza didn't think he was dying yet, and she was still here in the States, so she put her foot down and said, Dad, I'm getting married anyway. It didn't give her citizenship. This is the 1740s. There's no such thing as citizenship yet. It was just her stomping her foot and being a brat. So she got married. She was right. Dad didn't die right away. He starts sending over gifts. You guys have been here for at least a day or so. You've seen the word indigo. This was one of the gifts that he sent over to Eliza to experiment with right where we're standing. So this is right where her garden was. Indigo is a plant that makes blue dye. It makes our blue jeans blue. We have a couple people wearing it tonight. That's how we still use it today. So with that said, she didn't know how to keep it cultivated on our weird temperatures. It does get cold here. Well, I think you guys are all from the south, right? You guys all know that it still gets chilly here in January, February. So my group last night, they were from Wisconsin. They were like, really? I'm like, yeah, it gets cold. January, I'm bundled up. But anyway, so she learned from her slaves how to keep it cultivated. Our slaves from the Gullah tribes. So they came straight from Africa, basically plantation people. They were, agriculturists. They knew how to keep it going. Once she figured it out here, she moved it to Sneed Farm in Mount Pleasant. Calls Dad, says, I need some contacts overseas. We're going to make $1 million, tons of money out of this. Good thing, because the rice plantations here were going downhill. We needed another cash crop to come in and save the day. Now we have a businesswoman in the middle of the 1700s, which was absolutely unheard of during those times. I'm just giving you a little bit of what Eliza's done for the colonies and this country, but we're going to talk about some of the weird things weird facts about her. So first off, Eliza was the second wife named Eliza from Charles. Back to back. So he was married to one Eliza, then he married this Eliza. They both go by their maiden name. For the younger group, that's not the middle name, that's the name the woman has before she's married. So they both start with the letter L. That's all I'm going to give you on that one. You can ask anything you want to about Eliza's death. She's pretty open. How old were you? What did you die from? Where are you buried? What U.S. president was a pallbearer at your funeral? I will tell you we already have the word president on our word list. Now, I'm excited about that. We'll see if it comes up. That'll be clue number 1.
About what color the barn was.
Oh, he's got the word blood. Remember I told you blood, heart, fire truck. So, interesting. Let's see, you can ask anything about the mansion. Obviously it's not here anymore. You can ask what happened to it and when that happened. So, Pinckney. So like the color, but it's got a C added in there. So it's P-I-N-C-K, anyway. We met on the corner of Pinckney and East Bay Street. Let's see, the children. Let me touch on that before I set you guys free. There's a tragedy among the kids. If you're going to ask anything about the children, maybe ask how many boys, how many girls, get the names, leave it alone. Again, we start poking that bear, all activity will stop. I've seen it dozens of times, including one night last week. Somebody wanted to find out what was going on with that. She didn't want to talk about it. If she wants to chat about it, she'll let us know through the spirit box. I'll know based on the things that you guys are telling me you're hearing or what's actually happening in certain areas. So, turn those spirit boxes up, have some fun in here. I'm going to check you guys in on the website that you guys bought your tickets from to get you guys started. You know, so that way the teacher's not hanging out, and then I'll start bouncing around with all of you. But yeah, let's definitely get your motion sensor on. Get your, Connor, if you want to go ahead and turn your spirit boxes up. We're not disturbing anybody here, so stay within the confines of the lot and away from the vehicles.
Okay.
Does somebody want my thing?
I can take it.
You want to take it while I go?
I don't know how to
run
work
this
it
really
out.
fast?
It's just supposed to go up to 2.5. The white button on the back turns on the like sensor.
Yeah, I think
So
I have
anybody,
it on.
even
Let me
like
make sure.
people coming off of it.
Okay, let me make sure I got it on. Hang on. Okay, should be.
So you hold down the white button to do that?
Okay, I have no idea what I just did. To it.
Until it clicks. Hang on.
Okay. There we go. I don't know why it's not lighting up red anymore. See, it was red before. I have no idea. There's a button here. Hang on. I don't know what I did. We'll have to ask him because it was red so I could see it. Okay, I'm going to go dump this in the car. Okay, I'll be right back.
What was your last name? Your maiden name. We know it started with an L. Was there any way you could tell us the name? Eliza. Did it go away? Eliza, my name is Han. Can you please tell us your last name?
How many kids did you have?
Eliza, when was the house?
Well, we could be talking to Charles.
Charles, Eliza? What happened to the mansion or house that was here?
Charles, if this is you, set off the sensor. Eliza, if we're talking to Eliza, please set off motion or the sensor.
If this is Eliza, can you say your name?
You missed it. Your thing is going crazy. Right?
So this is Eliza.
Eliza, can you give us your last name, please? Starts with an L. Is there any way you can give us the second letter of your last name?
You want to try a different location? Yeah. Yeah, maybe. Somewhere over here.
Eliza probably felt me on what it was like walking in heels. Grass.
I swear the thing that said heels.
Where you want to be. Okay, this is cool.
Eliza or Charles, what happened to the house here?
When did you guys get married? Did anybody hear We Will Rock You?
Yeah. Sorry, did you just say? Can you repeat that?
Eliza, what is your last name? It starts with an L.
long lane.
Okay, so you really like this spot.
That's cool. If you want to tell us anything, go ahead.
Is there something about this spot that's important to you? Like how you died?
Oh, somebody.
You said over here.
Is there something important over here? What's your name? Oh, they're gone.
Eliza, how many kids did you have?
Eliza, if you're here, can you make Olivia's device go back to green?
100% stage, 90% stage. The idea is to see if you're taking it. Oh, here you are. Yeah. Okay. Now, and everybody's sure that we come down here. There's gotta be something to it in my mind.
Yeah, there's a lot to it. I see you have a lot going on there. Have we heard anything out of your spirit box yet? Nothing yet?
Not anything, yeah.
Again, you guys can feel free to switch up. So if you're having a hard time, by all means, switch up with somebody else because yours doesn't record. You have to tell me what's going on with it because it doesn't record anything. So,
Sure.
I mean, again, it's up to you guys. I'm just saying,
show me
like,
how
to
to
get,
work this.
yeah, show her how to use the
See this line right here, if you want to turn it down, you hold it down. Then if you want to turn it up, you gotta like kind of go kind of like.
I'll back.
Wait, I'm sorry, Connor, I still don't know.
Can you turn it down?
How you think it goes down?
How'd you do that?
That way, you hold it down. You want to hold it down. You want to hold it. You want to hold it down. It goes along. Right here, Olivia, right here. You know what? Let's just switch back here.
No, wait, Connor, I want to use this.
Got it. Okay. Okay.
It's fine.
right here. I do want to show you some evidence on that. Just so you kind of get a better gist of what you're looking for. I'll bring it up. So this was in this lot. This is why I wait to do it here. So it actually occurred right up in that corner. I like to give you the point of view. So what you're looking at is obviously the wall in the background.
Yeah.
See the two living people walking past it because they're orange? Now you're going to find the dead people. So they're going to be walking the opposite direction, going this way right there.
And those people were not there actually, like as
No. And it's not a car. So again, firemen and mechanics use that thing, and I've analyzed it frame by frame with people that I know that work with this camera all the time. It's literally two heads like this, walking. Like, you can't mistake it.
Yeah.
So again, you're looking for those blue and black spots to kind of move on their own. If you don't see anything tonight, it's not a device that captures everything every single night, but I will skim it, and then you guys have the evidence. So if you capture something or you see something that I may have missed, watch the lasers. Let me get him.
Okay. His laser was on. His laser was on, so he wanted to turn it off. Because his red laser was still on, it was pointing at cars.
Crossed.
Oh, actually?
Yeah, because I was like, wait, where's that red? And I was like, oh.
I switched mine. Okay, how's mine doing? Did it come back on ever?
Yeah, the
Okay.
red,
Any motion going on?
You know
with
what?
yours?
I don't know why the red.
we're trying to get the red light
Yeah,
back
I
on.
do.
but-
That's alright. We're just gonna reset the whole thing.
President was at your who the president was who attended your funeral?
Good motion.
Wait, I don't have this thing back out again. Leisha, you don't know.
You can switch if you want.
No, how do I get this back?
You want to be the thermal camera?
Do you like the thermal camera? Are you getting anything or nothing?
Not much, but I mean it's cool. I mean it's cool to go through it.
Right.
Did y'all get anything? No. I saw. He said on the last tour they saw a lot of motion, like right at the corner, right over there. So we can try that. Yeah. Well, at least they saw motion on the thermal camera. So that could be significant.
Olivia.
Oh, greetings.
Hello? Oh, do I still know?
Still double red.
Ask a question.
Eliza, what is your last name? It starts with an L. Lorraine?
What did they say?
Do they know who Lorraine Warren is?
I heard Lorraine, but is that one?
Is that you? With your phone? Sorry. No, you're good.
I was holding it.
No, my ears are always listening. Eyes always at the
So
corner
either a
watching that.
flood took out the house or there is nearby flooding in Charleston.
There's always flooding in Charleston, but that's not what happens to the mansion.
Perfect. That's what I assumed.
And
It
was
sounded
the
more
last
like a local
was the last
radio.
name Lorraine?
No.
That could have just been a freak.
What else have you heard? You can turn that up a little bit in here. We're not bothering anybody.
Okay.
And that is the hardest job that's out here, is listening to those spirit boxes. So cameramen, no offense, but you guys are just kind of cruising along.
Yeah,
With them, they're
yeah.
using one of their senses that they're not used to using. So again, when I say it's hard to listen to, I'm not like downgrading you. It's just, it's not easy to do.
It's hard to just figure out what's the radio and what's
Yeah.
not
Well, that's
like the radio coming through.
Is there
But
like
that's the thing, is I want you to hear the radio.
Okay.
I want, think of it as
Get any water.
Hmm?
Get any water.
Yeah. Did you not drink your water in there?
No, I did.
You did.
I'll be fine. I was water.
Oh, you know what? I should have taken your thing back. Damn.
Oh, I did not understand what you were saying when you said that. Okay, that makes
take
a
the
ton
shirt
of
back.
sense.
Let me take it off.
Yeah, take it off. I would, because you're gonna be hot. You know.
Okay.
I'll just fold
That
it.
makes
Keep it on.
Yeah, I would just put it on your arm. It'd be hot.
Okay,
Not super
that
hot though.
makes
It's
more
kind of nice
sense.
out here.
I can take it and give it. I can take it back. Not bad. I know it is nice out here. It's not bad, right?
Yeah.
It's not bad at all. I was like telling you to dress, you know. Honestly.
Yeah, compared to today.
Or possibly a daughter.
Light it up if something's here. That's what I'm supposed to say, right? Light it up, and then you colors if you're
Are you? What happened to the house here? Was it destroyed?
Okay, I can take this. Can we take
If it
that?
was destroyed, what
sure.
was it destroyed
You sure you want
by?
that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What
Olivia,
year
do
did
you
you
want me
get
to
married?
I'm gonna take it.
Thank you. I think I'm doing okay. Mommy, should I switch shoes? Or?
Yeah, your motion says. Yeah, your ghost hunter object.
When
Wow.
was the
Yeah,
house?
obviously.
Why is it going off?
Are you sensing something above
No, not really.
2.5?
Is there a button we're supposed to press?
There might be a reset button because mom's like going off a lot. There.
Every time I look it up.
Oh, looks like we're good now.
This is going nutty on us.
See that?
She's running back to the car.
Let me take a look.
You're still here. If you're still here, you can make Connor's meter turn red.
That's not me.
Yeah.
Nope.
So
Yeah.
just-
That's activity.
Okay, so you're still here. Thanks for joining us.
I'm hearing what your question is over there. I'm listening.
Who was the president here
That took you to your grave.
that took you to your grave?
17.
Who was the president here that took you to your grave?
Anyone hear Harry?
Harry Truman.
Half.
This can be going crazy, and I have 0 down here.
Do you know the president who took you to your grave? Wilson?
It wouldn't have been a
Woodrow Wilson. Yeah.
That was 1918.
Yeah. Oh, that's true.
When was she?
The early 1800s, something like that. So we could
not
put
sure.
that as a
I don't
guess.
Woodrow
yeah.
Wilson wasn't like president until 1900.
I don't know president order, but
Can you tell us which president took you to your grave? Are we still getting stuff here?
you know, we could move slightly over there because he's getting some motion over there.
Do you want to walk to a corner?
Yeah, we can try that.
Got a rock.
Now I look like Mr. Clean because I lost my shirt on anymore.
Do you like Mr. Clean?
Actually, I don't even know at all.
Do you like? Eliza, do you like Connor? No.
Eliza, how many kids did you have? Did you have a son?
Don't want to ask you yes or no, but
Can you tell me what your maiden name was? Or Charles, can you tell me what your wife Eliza's maiden name was? What was your Charles? Your first wife Eliza. What was her maiden name? Heard Sucker by Jonas Brothers.
Eliza.
her maiden name is Sucker.
Sucker. Should we try that? Put that in as a guess.
Here, walk around and tell me where you find a red spot. I'll just be talking until you find a red spot.
Oh. Good activity.
Olivia, right here.
Olivia, we're getting pretty good activity right here.
I do want to compare, because you seem to have like right around 15 milligauss, but I'm not really measuring much of anything. Because this lights that you're seeing flashing are working separately.
Should I also do that? Or is this one?
No, you're fine, because I'm more worried about the motion sensor. Yours doesn't have a motion sensor. It's straight, you know, straight.
956.
Find anything?
Not much. I mean, we wouldn't ask in general questions. Maybe you wanna.
No, you do. That's you, man. That's all you know.
What you gonna do with it? Any
Nope, just some Jonas Brothers.
Olivia.
Okay.
Dang it, it went away. I don't think it likes Olivia.
have 4 kids?
3 or 4.
Did you have more or less than 4 children? Less? So you had less than 4 children?
If you go up to the corner, I'll get you guys some answers.
Look at that.
So possibly 4 or less than 4 children?
What? Sounds smart.
Alright, so, where are we at with your word list?
I asked.
Let me just take a peek and see if anything might be relevant. Cousin. Remember I told you Charles. I did not go over the son and the nephew. He has the word nephew, and normally I begin this whole thing with Eliza and Charles had a son named Charles, and they had a nephew named Charles, which would have been the cousin of the other Charles. The son and the nephew were signers of the Constitution for South Carolina. So the other night I forgot to tell you that part of the story, and the word Constitution immediately came up when I started with Eliza's story. So it's kind of like, okay, I guess I forgot to tell that, but now we have the word nephew. So Charles Pinckney, not Charles Coatsworth Pinckney, would have been the nephew. So unless I have the word Charles showing up somewhere else, that's kind of irrelevant. I'm still excited about President. We've switched up on the spirit box over here. So Olivia, what did you hear? Anything specific? Any numbers? Anything at all?
Number 4.
That would be how many children she had.
I was right. Yes, that's the number I kept getting when I asked how many kids.
Okay.
It was 4.
So we have one direct answer. So we'll start off with the kids. There were 4 kids. You know Charles. There was a Thomas Pinckney, and there was also a George Pinckney. George died as an infant. We don't know if the baby was days or weeks old. There's no grave or headstone for this child. We don't even know where the child is. So the death certificate just has the same month and year as their birth. So, and then there was one daughter, Harriet. So 3 boys, 1 girl, total of 4 children. Let's talk about Eliza's death.
We did hear Harry at one point.
We were asking about the kids and we heard the name Harry, but
Harry?
yes.
Yeah.
Because Harriet isn't a name you hear often, so they may have grabbed it whatever they could have, and I'm not reaching for straws, but Harriet is a very specific name. So again, the fact that she heard Harry is, I'm going to call that vaguely close. So we're going to make up our own terms here. Vaguely close, still cool. Eliza's death. She was 70 years old when she died of breast cancer in 1793. Think about 1793. There's no such thing as breast cancer yet. We're going based off her medical records. That was in Philadelphia, which is also where she's buried. Keep in mind, this is called Stories in the Cemetery, and we're walking through one giant cemetery. We are not going to go walking through cemeteries, because none of you are going to hang out where you're buried once you're gone. No offense, but you don't get a whole lot of activity in an actual graveyard. You just don't, trust me. I've been through dozens of them trying to make sense of it. Let's see. Oh, the president, any guesses now that you know what year it was? 1793? Once, twice? George Washington was our president there. So again, we have...
I was
Yeah.
gonna say that, and then I was like, I'm
She's like, oh, yeah.
Yeah, but Trump is still considered a president, so even though he's not president anymore. So that's kind of a trick question. And I also brainwashed all of you, and you all passed with a fail. Because I said we're not going to give you answers like what color is George Washington's white horse. So you guys all passed with a fail. Good job. So, yeah, I'm the wordsmith, guys. I write books for a living. This is my life. So, let's see, what else did we... The mansion. You thought you heard flooding? The mansion caught fire in the Great Fire of 1861. Every tour guide's going to tell you about a great fire of whatever year it happened in, because we've had dozens of them. This particular one just went from Peninsula Coast to Peninsula Coast. The mansion was just in the way. So it only took out about half of it. The only pictures we have of the mansion are after the fire. We don't even know what it looked like beforehand other than some descriptions. So, we're still not getting any activity at all on a millimeter. Let's see, what other things did I have you guys ask about? I think that about covers it. The tragedy, by the way, was Baby George. Oh, the maiden names, by the way. Go ahead.
I was just about to say, you didn't tell us that.
Baby George was named after Eliza's father. Eliza's maiden name was Lucas. So Eliza's father's name is George Lucas.
Awesome.
So we have 3 Georges, 2 Elizas, and 3 Charleses. Do you guys see why I always wait for the extra clue? There's always somebody's got the same name as somebody else. The first wife, her name was Eliza Lamb, as in the animal, L-A-M-B. So, I think that about covers all. Did anybody go rogue with their questions? Did you ask something that was off the cuff that I didn't give you? That maybe I can answer. No? How was your what?
How's the afterlife, eh?
Oh.
Yes, I heard pain and suffering back in the end.
You also heard something sunshine.
Oh yeah, walking on sunshine.
Sunshine.
I also when you were talking about the infants, I had went right after you said headstone, it said mark.
You also have the word Broad on there, and I want to say that one of the Pinckney properties is on Broad Street. So I'm going to dive into that. I've been getting a lot more street names lately, so we'll kind of see what happens. So if the word meeting comes up with that as well, meeting in Broad Street, if there's an intersection or something that relates to one of the Pinckney homes, because there was a lot of them, we'll kind of see what comes out of that. Here's what happens from here. We're going to walk up East Bay Street. Go ahead and pick up East Bay so we don't forget it.
Okay.
Otherwise, there's going to be a bill for $250. Nobody wants that.
Nope.
It's all insured. It's fine. But anyway, we're going to go up East Bay Street. So it's a no laser zone for sure. Your EMF, so your red screen and your device are going to go crazy because of the parking meters. Ignore it. It just means that the electrical lines are underneath the streets until we get to Lodge Alley. Spirit boxes, listen for names along the way. I'm not going to tell you what gender or what names. You tell me once we get there. Once we get inside Lodge Alley, Carol, you're going to take some pictures for us once we get there.
Okay.
Just no lasers, but just a couple of shots down Lodge Alley. And then spirit boxes need to be off once we enter inside. It is a quiet area. It'll be a brief stop. So I'll kind of give you the layout of the land there, what I'm looking for, what we're looking for, and then we're going to go learn some legends and lore, kind of like you're going to take a break from ghost hunting. And then we're going to go try to talk to a female pirate from the golden age of piracy at the Power Magazine. So lots of cool stuff coming. This is one of my hot spots, so I'm excited about a few things. Hopefully I have the clues in the morning to tie up the big things that we've caught so far. So let's, any comments so far? Questions? All right, let's go up to Lodge Alley. You could probably turn off your REM pod too.
Okay.
Turn off your REM pod.
I feel like it's
Watch your step.
Oop.
No, female business owners.
Female mode.
Maybe some Charleston.
Awesome.
Knock on wood.
There's one right there. I didn't knock on it. I guess I'm cursed.
That carpool.
We get a lot of things wrapped around what type of bricks we're walking on. They're made out of a lot of different materials, mainly clay. And these are original bricks. That's why they're still kind of crooked and they're all over the place, because we've had a lot of floods here. They're going to move. So from here, we're going to actually cut through a neighborhood to get to our next location where you guys can actually have a seat for a few minutes. I'll tell you what's going on that corner, and then we'll dive into that kick-ass female pirate, because there's a lot going on there. She's all in. Anybody else excited about the pirate? Because that's kind of a newer story that I actually added just a few months ago. That seems to be, I didn't believe it at first, but I'm getting a lot of activity out of that location, so it's working. There's a lot going on there, so fingers crossed we capture a lot with the very light, vague stuff we caught at Pinckney. So between Pinckney and Powder Magazine, it's usually one or the other that kind of dominates the whole night. So it just depends on what I find in the morning. When we go through there, absolutely no lasers. You guys are still out of the game for a little while. Feel free to take more pictures. If you want to be a tourist, be a tourist. I'm good with it. The pictures go to everybody, so it's not just what you guys take. Spirit boxes, again, keep them audible to you only. People might be sleeping or winding down from their day. They do live in the neighborhood. So let's go learn about some of the crazy legends that go on here in Charleston. Can everybody see? Does anybody need a flashlight?
Thank you. I don't know. They were like corsets though, so it's like he's for it. It's usually bad. Yeah, they like get they get like faint fast. Yeah.
Mommy, not even one roll more. Oh, you're totally gonna do that now.
Yeah.
Right.
I know we're gonna go to another.
We're walking to the candy shop.
Ah.
My favorite part's coming up. The sitting down part. That's my favorite part of your
Holding a phone's actually really hard. Just staring for it. Go signature.
Let's go up to the law firm right there.
Hello.
I think he's supposed to video and just like a Photoshop picture of a ghost. It's like, oh, we got some activity here. Like a ghost from The Exorcist, just like Photoshop there.
It's like a blanket ghost.
There was a Liberty Mutual commercial.
Actually, on the radio.
All it said was Liberty, but I recognized the voice. Liberty Mutual.
But it was we will rock.
What?
No idea.
What you doing? Oh, answer later. Goes before us.
Yes, before us. Remember that. Just write that.
Goes before us.
Olivia. Ghost before hose. Or you break that pack for we have problems.
Yeah, I ain't touching my phone, man. The only thing I'm seeing is the ghost. I wanna be like the.
What?
Nah, I don't want to be like the guy who like carries that mic thing to like listen to him.
I'm a great employer. Alright. And where did you two stop at?
We were just bringing up the rear. She saw a dead snake, so.
Yeah. We tried to see its ghost.
We'll find out on the camera. Well, no, it probably wasn't recording. Alright, so did you guys all notice the beautiful alley that we passed up?
Yeah.
Well, let me stop there. Where are we at with the word list? Because there was like 20 stories in this corner. I'd like to know what direction I need to
I
head.
got the words, and while we're on the walk, Michael, then seen, then subtle, then fade. But nothing.
Nope, got nothing. Okay. I always kind of like to see if I need to tell a certain story based on the word list that's popping up. Right now I got nothing from the word list, so I'm going to go with the traditional, talk about the alley that we just passed. So that's Philadelphia Alley. It's easy for me to remember because that's where Eliza died. Philadelphia, it was named that because we had to rename it something after dueling became illegal and stupid. It used to be called Dueler's Alley. So yeah, Philadelphia just happened to save us after one of our many, many fires that we've had, and so they get the recognition. We all tell the story of one duel, but I do want to point out one thing. So if you guys get the opportunity, if you turn around as I'm telling the story, there's a doorway in the wall back there. The reason for that doorway is in the event that there was a loser from that duel, they would pick him up, bring him through the doorway, over this courtyard, over to St. Philip's Cemetery, then go, drop the body and celebrate the winner. So that's why it's over there. That's part of the story that nobody really tells, so it's kind of interesting. So we all tell the story of one specific duel because we can prove that it actually happened and that these people actually existed. So, The flashing, I'm like,
You're scaring the ghosts.
I'm scared of
Yeah.
ghosts.
Yeah.
Sorry.
so, Dr. Joseph Brown Ladd. You're going to get a lot of key words out of this. Last night we actually had quite a bit come out of this story, so it'll be interesting to see how it goes. Joseph Brown Ladd moves down here from Rhode Island. Why? Because he's supposed to get married to his fiancee Amanda. You know the story already, Chris? Okay. So Amanda just inherited a bunch of money from her dead parents, and the attorney handling that money told Amanda to send the doctor away. He thought he was just after her money. So he moved to Charleston to start his practice. He just got out of med school. He's dressed pretty well. And he's set up to be robbed and killed, basically. The coachman that brought him in was going to take him to a place where he can be killed and then robbed. Somebody walking by, seeing what was going on. His name was Ralph Isaacs. He was a local. He sees what's going on, says, you don't want to stay here, let me take you somewhere else. He takes him to 59 Church Street. We're on Church Street, just so you know, so it's in that direction. So he takes him up there, he has a safe place to stay. The two become friends. The doctor's practice starts to take off. He's making lots of money. Amanda's moving down soon. He becomes known as the Whistling Doctor. So that was just his nickname all the time. Of course, it's a great name for a ghost story as well when you're sitting around a campfire, I'm sure. So anyway, him and Ralph used to go see plays together, but they could not sit next to each other because the doctor made more money. That's just the way the hierarchy went here in Charleston. So they talk about these plays on the way home. They go see William III one night. They're talking. The doctor loves the new actress that's in town. Ralph does not. They start arguing. Then it turns into an insult party on the doctor's fiancée, Amanda, back home. So they obviously get pretty pissed off at each other and they go their separate ways. Ralph is from here. He goes to his friends at the newspaper. He's going to put an ad in the paper telling the whole city of Charleston what a disgrace the doctor is. He's not from here. He charges too much. All of these disgraceful things. The doctor sees it, rebuttals with, let's go to Dueler's Alley. We're going to settle this. They come down. They take the 20 paces. They turn. The doctor points his gun in the air and he shoots. He did not want to kill his friend. He just wanted to make a point and willing to forgive. However, Ralph has his one shot. He puts it in the kneecap on the doctor. So he didn't die. He didn't come through the death gate. Instead, they took him home to 59 Church Street, where he dies 10 days later, probably from bleeding out. Now, I can't take you down there because I used to take my folks down there, but now it's residential, and the new owners of the mansions at the end do not like tours all the way down at the end. Right on cue. So I planned that. They're actors. They're paid well. So, but that's the kind of things you'll find on the other tours. Those jump scares. I don't do that. I'm not the actor. But anyway, so if you walk down there, turn on your phone recorders. They say you can hear the whistles from the doctor. We do get a lot of hecklers in town. It's really easy to figure out what's a heckler and what's not because one of the doctor's whistles is going to sound like wind in the background. And it's going to be real faint. So you just got to listen hard. So, do I have some I can't debunk? Sure do. The story they're all telling is very simple. They drag it out for 10 minutes. That's St. Philip's Cemetery. That's the east side. I'll talk more about the different sides once we cross the street. There's a sign right inside the gate that says there's no ghost here besides the Holy Ghost. That's because guys like me like to go up there ghost hunting because of the story. Young lady dies in 1888 named Sue Howard Hardy, 6 days after her stillborn child, probably from heartbreak. 1987, local photographer in town taking pictures of all of our cemeteries captures a full apparition of a woman wearing a shawl, baby basket next to her, over that grave. It's 1987. There's no Photoshop, no cell phones. Kids, we had to send it to a place to get our pictures developed. We couldn't print them on our own computers. We sent it to Kodak. So that's what Kodak was. He sent it to them. They can't debunk the picture either. The picture for guys like me is gold, right? This is what I do for a living. It's cursed. Females that handle the picture, even on your cell phones, will have the same symptoms I told you about, like at Big John's. That's why I don't pass it around. Pregnant females, you're probably not going to have a good pregnancy. Somebody's not going to have a great time on a vacation and then call me 9 months later. I'm not that guy. If we have something, some kind of evidence that's related to that, I will always put a heated warning for females not to click on it, look at it on a computer, have a male look at it for you. I'm just not going to be that guy. So, there's a lot of curses around here. You guys see the burning gas lamp off in the distance? That is what we call the pirate house. I'm getting your mindset on pirates right now, because this is the last part of this little legends and lore, and then break will be over. That's where Blackbeard's men would come off their ships, have a few drinks, meet with a few ladies, and have a place to sleep. The cool thing about the pirate house is that they dug a tunnel underneath the pirate house 1 block away to Dock Street Theater. At the time, it was called Planter's Hotel. It was a whorehouse, a playhouse, and a hotel. Moms, did you guys see how quickly I went over some of those terms? Trying to keep the PG. So, they go over there actually for the playhouse, because pirates tie really good knots. They actually work backstage at these theaters and earn a few bucks in between bartering with the locals. Blackbeard never set foot on our soil, so if you read somewhere that his treasure was buried in that little tunnel, it's a lie. We all know that damn treasure's in North Carolina. So that's just where it's at. As far as the pirate house, if you guys are walking around town and you come across it, somebody lives there. Don't go in his backyard, he gets pissed, and don't ask me how I know that. So, again, very interesting place to see. It is right next to the other side of the cemetery, which we're going to talk about here shortly. Questions, comments, concerns? You guys ready to dive into this female pirate? Because it's a doozy. So, let's go talk about this female pirate. Carol, let's do it.
Wait, what was it, Kurt?
And bad pregnancy.
I got a picture of an apparition of a woman who died to see that she had a stillborn baby.
Yeah.
Seen anything?
Yeah.
Show us it. It's cool. Look at look. Okay.
Awesome. So Europe.
I think they're cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're just cool, like, you know, at night. You know what I mean? It's like neat. And there's so many neat rooftop bars that you can see them all.
Yeah.
If you're anxious.
She calls me up, Trisha. I saw that picture on Facebook last night, and I came up there.
What time do we gotta go tomorrow?
I just thought we'd just get up and go.
Okay.
I mean, you know, like 9:30. Leave by 10. Is that why you want to not leave that early?
No, it's fine.
Okay.
Or are they even going to go into the lengths of the actual spirits that we're about to find? So first, you guys need to know a little bit of history about the building we're about to talk about. First off, you guys remember me telling you about the Charlestown Wall?
Yeah.
Lodge Alley? This is Cumberland Street. This is where the wall was running behind me. The building we're going to be focused on is the building over there with crosses. Those are not crosses, by the way. Those are earthquake bolts. So the gist behind those is that they're on turnbuckles. We do have to change your battery out.
Okay, good.
We're at that location. I seen you looking. I was like, yeah, it's about that time. So earthquake bolts, turnbuckles. So if it gets quaked again, you turn the turnbuckles, it straightens the building back up again. Those are the very first set of earthquake bolts that we put in Charleston. Just know that that technology does not work. So it's just kind of one of those things like, it looks cool. We're going to keep them up. We're going to keep decorating them. So if you guys are walking around town, you might see lion heads and pineapples and that kind of stuff. It's basically just for decor. So going back to the Charlestown Wall, it actually went up Cumberland Street about half a block and then went down south past, like going towards the battery. So literally, the powder magazine is locked into the two corners of the wall on purpose. It's 3 blocks away from the water. If a cannon tries to attack it and tries to get through to the gunpowder inside, those walls are 32 inches thick. It's going to have a hard time. But let's say that it makes it all the way through and blows up the gunpowder. There's sand in the roof from 1712 that is supposed to go up in the air and fall to put out the fires from the gunpowder. Great concept, but just like the earthquake bolts, that shit don't work either. So we had another powder magazine closer to the battery, much closer to the water. If you know our geography, it did get attacked, and the sand went up and was unable to put out the fires. So again, great concept, but it doesn't work. Although these large groups passing by, we're going to just stay out of their way as much as possible. So again, they're just passers-by. We're going to spend a good 10 to 15 minutes here. During the time frame that this building was built, 1703 to 1713, yes, it took a full decade. Right in the middle of that is where our story begins. You just needed to know the layout of the land and why this place is relevant. 1708, follow me, there's a lot of twists. Young lady moves here. Her name is Anne Cormack. She moves here from Ireland with her father and his mistress, who happens to be her mom, and the three of them are trying to get away from his wife. You guys with me? Mm-hmm. Okay, good. I don't have to repeat. Nice job, guys. So, by the way, it's 1708. How pissed off was that lady that they had to run away from Ireland to get here? So, anyway, he was an attorney back then. He turns into a farmer here. Obviously, it's 1708. She sees the building being finished. 1713 is when it was completed. 1714, 1715 rolls around. We're now smack in the middle of the golden age of piracy, and pirates are coming through town. And Cormac was kind of a badass in her own right. Even as a child, rumor had it she actually killed one of her servants with a knife to the belly. So, as a child. So if that kind of tells you what kind of personality she had. So she falls in love with one of these pirates coming through. His name is James Bonny. Dad doesn't approve. He's a filthy pirate. Of course he doesn't approve. They run away to Jamaica, they get married, and Cormac becomes Anne Bonny, the most famous female pirate of the Golden Age. So, Anne Bonny, when she looks at James, and they're down in Jamaica. Turns out he's a privateer. He's a coward. He's a spy for the British. This is not the kick-ass Captain Jack Sparrow guy that she wanted. So she falls in love again. This guy's name is John Rackham, aka Calico Jack. We will refer to him as Jack for the rest of the story. Much younger guy, much cooler name, definitely the Captain Jack Sparrow type, and he has his own ship, which she wants to be part of. Females curse pirate ships. So he says, you can come on my ship and be part of the crew if you dress like the guys. She's okay with this cross-dressing. Why? Because Dad used to hide her at his attorneyship in Ireland as a boy to keep her away from his wife. So she's just like, whatever, I want to be a pirate, let's go. But of course, she can dress like a female in his quarters. We'll keep it PG. She eventually gets pregnant being a female in his quarters. So Jack drops her off in Cuba. Have the baby, come back, we'll figure it out once you get it. She has the baby, returns with no baby. We don't know what happened to that child. And she's dressed like a girl. She doesn't give a damn anymore about hiding a gender. This makes Jack mad. He also just captured another pirate crew. She's going to go flirt with these guys to make him even more jealous. The guy she's flirting with reveals his gender to be a female, pretending to be a male pirate to be part of the crew that Calico Jack just captured. So now we have two females doing the exact same thing, dressing like guys to be part of pirate crews. She convinces this young lady, whose name was Mary Read, like you read a book, same spelling, to become part of the crew. The British find out where they are. The fleet rolls in. The men are down below deck, too drunk to come up because they're watching the other pirate crew that they just captured. Anne Bonny and Mary Read were literally the only two above deck fighting off this entire fleet. Well, what the hell do you think happened? Of course they get captured. As Calico Jack is being arrested by the British, Anne Bonny's last words to him were, you should have fought like a man instead of going down like a dog. So the word dog shows up here quite often as well. So, all the men are tried and hung pretty quickly. Like, the judge doesn't care. He gets it done, but he wants to see the two men that fought back. He wants to see these valiant too. So they go in front of the judge, which his name was Nicholas Laws, by the way. So if my name shows up here, it's not me, it's the judge. He wants to see them separately. They go in front, they reveal their gender. He doesn't care that they're female. We're going to try and hang you anyway. We plead our bellies, was the last thing they said, meaning they were both claiming to be pregnant. You cannot hang a pregnant woman in 1720, which is when this happened. So he delayed their hanging, but sent them both back to jail. Dad is here in Charleston. He bails her out with his Irish money, brings her home. She remarries again. Yes, we're on guy number 4 because we're counting Mary Read as number 3. Has 4 children, dies at the age of 84. Don't know how we have such specific details, but that's the common things out of all the books that I read about this woman. But what happens to Mary Read? She's in a Jamaican jail. She died from whatever pirates died from in a Jamaican jail. Use your own imagination. This is your level 3. Ask whatever you want to. The only 2 facts I did not give you that I know for certain, the name of Calico Jack's ship and the name of Anne Bonny's parents. So, anything else that you ask, by all means, ask away. I am going to change the battery on Chris's camera. We definitely want the REM pod going here. Other cameras, if you want to go to the front, shoot your lasers in the front yard of the powder magazine, get some photos, you can. Any cameras, please stay away from other groups. Again, I'm not friends with them, as I'm sure you can imagine. Turn up the spirit boxes, let's have some fun. You see how we...
by that lawn all their area.
Oh yeah, but you and I are going to change up right here, so that way I can get you a new camera. But everybody else, head towards the building, go check out the earthquake bolts, get those spirit boxes running.
Hey, Anne.
Good.
So, boys, what do we want to know about being a pirate?
Arr, maybe. Did they say arr?
Well, we can ask her about the name of the ship.
Do you know what what was his name?
The name of Callaway Jack's ship is. Did you get any motion?
Yeah, it was up to like 3 point whatever. Now it's back like nothing.
Huh.
Yeah, I don't know. Over here. You guys have a word thing over here?
There's been a lot of music. What happened?
Oh, next baby. Yeah, to hit it real quick.
It's a 12.4.
I'm not finding any questions. I mean,
What did you say?
We did say like Callaway Jack's ship.
do you know the name of Callaway Jack's ship?
Yeah, I'm getting nothing over here.
Nothing over here.
Music.
Yeah, I'm getting nothing.
Nothing much.
Walk
We're not.
around all of this. So.
Now, EMFs in here are a dead zone. This is not the Pinckney Mansion site. So if I get anything from that device or yours, your big numbers, I'm excited. Your REM pod's not on.
I swear, what did I?
No,
I
you're not picking
tried
up any
pushing it.
frequencies.
This on the back.
Here, boys, you want to ask some questions and I'll listen?
Oh, there we go.
Sure.
I kept doing it and then it wouldn't come.
And Bonnie,
Before it went up to like.
what are your
3.8,
parents'
but
names?
Yeah. Well, when I was walking across. Yeah, like kind of.
That was she did not want to answer that one. Silence on all fronts.
So how many videos do you think we're going to have? Is it just going to be the two split?
Yeah, because I mean it went black and white once, so I think it's just gonna be 2.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. It's funny when you asked that. There was nothing, like no radio chatter whatsoever. It was silent.
She did not want to answer.
Last week I had the phrase, they think we're guys. Come up here. Like, if that isn't as specific can be, I don't know what
Think
is.
we are guys.
Like, it was 2 girls talking, and I normally don't care about the gender.
Yeah.
Based on radio chatter.
But
it's
like
about
just
the
because it is, that like adds on
just
another layer.
because those 2 things.
We're just happened to.
Right.
Yeah.
So disembodied voices, that's the things that are not radio chatter.
Yeah.
Those are the voices like I care what the gender is. So I have stuff from the Pinckney Mansion site, just leave us alone, baked beans for breakfast. Like those are
Yeah.
like I paid attention. So the gender made complete sense when it came through. So again, when I find those disembodied voices, super exciting, but it takes a lot of analyzing. I have
Yeah.
to cut it out. I have to see how many radio stations it went over to verify it's not radio chatter. There's a lot that goes into finding a disembodied voice. Wow. So,
Yeah, I did not realize how much work goes into
and
it.
so when I do all of your guys' data, it normally, if overall, the 2 hours that we're spending together, I'm going to probably give you about 9 hours worth of data back. So it takes me probably 5 hours to put all of that together. So it takes me about 2.5 hours to piece it together on the website so you guys can view it, and then I start reviewing it and write your analysis. So when I start reviewing it, I don't listen to the entire Spirit Box recording. I don't watch the whole video. I spot check it. I give you guys a few markers so you guys know what you're looking for,
Yeah.
what might be questionable, and then the rest is up to you. That's what you guys paid for.
Got it.
Because
That makes sense.
the
Yeah.
ghost hunting part, yeah, you're in the field. This is fun. You want to catch shit in real time. But tomorrow morning, when you piece it all together and you have the internet at your disposal, that's when it's fun. Because for me, I'm a writer. So the research and the history, that's where it's at for me. So when I can give you guys backlink to they think they're guys, and it was 2 women pretending to be guys on a pirate ship, like that's specific. Like that's cool stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah,
Over in that corner, I was getting to the middle.
we have an electrical pole.
It cracks up like what songs come through, just the array.
Well, not to mention the song lyrics might mean something too.
Yeah.
put them together.
Some Jason Mraz. I'm thinking about how. Stop there.
Again, I need phrases. Keep it going. How you doing over here?
Ghost. Ghost. You want to switch?
Yeah.
What the?
Just for a frame of reference. It's my other bike.
Thank you.
He said like usually keep it around like bodies and other people.
Let me keep it aimed right. If you're here, can you make a noise? Or can you show up on here? I see him right there. We've already known about him. Maybe not. There's people right there, but he's one. I hate standing for this long.
Let's see if you can get this cockroach a heat signature.
A ghost! A ghost! Oh no, it's just Olivia.
They are nothing to worry about.
Oh.
Who should I not be worried about?
Okay. It's blips, but I'm getting something over here.
Do you want to try by that wall again?
Oh, whoa, 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 whoa.
Okay, so right here's the spot.
This is my phone. Do you think that's it?
Briefly. It's your phone.
Yeah.
Get that phone away.
Blip. Go try the wall. Not much. Olivia's asking right now, but
I hate walking.
Women power.
you want to go try the wall? Like, I think your phone's up to that. Dude, he's setting up that thing with your phone. She's setting up with her phone.
You can reset it with the bottle.
Yummy.
Ooh, it's strong. Smell it.
Oh my god.
Where'd you find that?
I just found it laying right there.
Pirates like whiskey.
Pirates like it. I found a random bottle of whiskey on the ground.
And a bottle of whiskey. Ooh!
No, it just smells like cinnamon.
Fireball.
Is it Fireball?
Yes, fireball.
Wow.
Ooh. You ever had fireball?
An Irish just knows a fireball.
Irish.
She was a fireball.
John, do the pirate dance. Probably find your screensaver as it goes. Oh, this thing's way up over here because there's like a big things like
Oh, it's got Jesus crosses.
Jesus.
What are those? Put those for the Lord.
You only accept the Lord. I only accept the Lord. It's real good.
Yeah, I believe in ghosts now.
You do?
Yeah, I reached a 2 actually right there, so that means a ghost like was walking. Reached a 2, so that means like a ghost is definitely here. Actually.
But I either gotta be moving or sitting. I can't just stand in one place.
Damn.
That's the power of ADD. Yeah.
Anything crazy on the thermal?
Nah. I wish.
Well, you may not have caught it in real time.
John. You know why?
That's probably it. I was gonna say, I'm finally getting a signature. You see this?
Yeah. Don't you see what I'm saying though?
Yeah, no. When I hold it closer to it.
Ow, that.
Before I go, they ran away with my equipment.
They ran?